the Nation, where we take this week's news and culture topics, we throw them into a mix with some metaphorical kittens and serve them up podcast style. Today, we're going to talk about coffee's potential competitor. We weirdly talk about the Epstein files and Andrew Cuomo's chances in New York and the decline of the straight male novelist. Oh, today's panel, you guys. What a delight. We have joining us for the manyth time. You've heard her on the show before. You've loved her on the show before. She is a lifelong friend of mine. You've seen her on Late Night with Colbert, and she will be headlining the Burbank Comedy Festival on August 9th. Buy your tickets now. It is the incredible Leah Bonnema. Hey, Leah.
Hey, Negin. Thank you for having me.
Oh my God, so excited that you're here. We are also joined for the first time and hopefully not the last. He's so delightful. He's a comedian. He's got a new special coming out. It's called From the Future. It'll be available on YouTube on July 29th. Get your browsers ready. It is the wonderful Fabrezio Copano. Hey, Fabrezio.
Hey, hi. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
God. So excited to have you both on. And before we launch into the show, just a quick reminder that you can go to patreon.com/Negin Farsad to support the show. Today we're recording a bonus episode all about Brad Pitt. What are we gonna say? I don't know, but it's happening. There seems to be so much to say about that man's several long decades of being a really hot guy. So these are the kinds of bonus things that you can get by supporting the show at patreon.com/Negin Farsad. And now let's get into it with topic number one. All right, this is like a little bit of a weird one, but because of tariffs, there's a chance that coffee is going to just increase in price already. But by the way, I feel like coffee prices have already increased a lot during the pandemic and during the whatever supply lines and all the crap that happened. And now there might be more of that because we can't really grow coffee here. It grows in certain climates, and those climates might be tariffed, and who knows. And so there's this thing called Yapon tea. I've actually never heard of it or tasted it before, but it's also caffeinated and it's, indigenous to North America. We could actually be drinking this. This could be a competitor. So my question for you guys is, how sensitive are the both of you to the price of coffee? Like, if the price is really high, are you like, I gotta switch to something else, this price is crazy?
I will switch to cocaine, I think. I don't think there's anything that will replace coffee in my life in the morning. I don't think there's a chance that any other substitute will make the cut. So no, I think probably cocaine is cheaper. I'm just throwing this out there because I think it can grow in America. I don't know. I don't have proof, but I think you can do it in your backyard, probably.
Like a nice hydroponic cocaine growing system.
I mean, if it's sustainable and it's
farm to table,
I don't think it's that bad.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think anything is gonna replace coffee in my life. I'd rather, go deep down in depth to get more coffee.
Yeah, Leah, what's your relationship with coffee?
It's so funny because I had like a new doctor appointment yesterday, and then
I know you love those.
Oh yeah, full on panic attack. But they were like, "How much coffee are you drinking?" Like that was the flag on my. I buy coffee in bulk. In my half of my kitchen right now, I go to Costco. I stock up. I cannot be without coffee. I'm upset. I'd sleep in it.
Jesus. Okay, so you're not going to be price sensitive about coffee. Like it'll take a severe increase for you to start drinking Yapon tea.
What is that, by the way? Sorry, what is in that Yelp? What is that?
It comes in a green and a black like other teas. It's just a caffeinated alternative to coffee. And the growers of Yapon, which hasn't like taken off in the United States, but the growers of it feel like this is an opportunity because it's locally grown and it can be done cheaply. So it could be a real competitor to coffee. This is the stuff they're talking about in business articles, and I just thought maybe, I don't know, but I'm looking at your price sensitivity and I'm feeling like you'd rather go bankrupt.
I will say I thought it was like blasphemous when I read the title, but then two things it has going for it. A, it looks like Holly, I
Yeah.
love Christmas. And
Yes, you
B,
do.
I love that it was originally called, and I'm saying this wrong, but it's in Latin, so nobody says it. What was it? Il vomitorium or il vomito? Because the Native Americans used to drink it with like a laxative and it would make people vomit. And I was like, well, that's a fun history.
That
But this is like ayahuasca. That's how ayahuasca
No,
works. You're gonna drink
it
ayahuasca
was
every
mixed
morning.
with something else. It was mixed. So you would just do the holly berry.
I,
Although Fabrizio sounds interested in like a morning ayahuasca, like an
Now we're
every
on board.
I
morning.
mean, honestly, I think Costco coffee will make me vomit. So I think it's not that different what you're drinking right now, Leah.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know. I can't speak to Costco as we know. I live in New York City, and Leah's only recently been converted as a
Oh no,
Costco
wait.
disciple.
I live in New York City. I travel 6 hours to get to a Costco because it's so cheap.
What?
It's such an insane world. I just discovered Costco. It was not in my life, but I have plenty of kids. I don't want to say the number. I don't think America's ready. So, but I have too many kids to go to any other to go to Trader Joe's. I don't think it
Okay.
can. So
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm a Costco person now.
yeah, I just joined because I just moved to Los Angeles and I love it. I can't get enough.
Okay. I mean, I remember it from my childhood because my mom would be like, "Let's go eat some samples," and that we would make an afternoon of it. Um, okay. So my feeling about it is that yeah, the thing about coffee that's funny is that it is addictive, I guess, and I have become addicted. Like I can't start a day unless there's a coffee in that day, and I feel like my price sensitivity on that one product is low. Like I will stick with it for a long time, until I guess until there's rationing or something.
You know what
You
makes me
know what?
upset about this
Mm,
is like I'm an immigrant and I moved to this country and I thought this country was about like having everything in the grocery store
yeah,
forever, like this
forever.
infinite amount of options. And
Yeah.
what's wrong with this country? It's supposed to be the place where you're gonna find any kind of coffee until you die, and you're not gonna be able to like even get all the coffee in the world because it's like so much options in a Costco place or like I don't know in a Trader Joe's. So I don't know what's wrong with this country now.
All right, Leah, any final thoughts on whether you're giving Yapon a chance?
I love the idea that I would stop spending money on something because I didn't have that money, but that has not been historically how I have made decisions about money.
Yeah, like if Susie Orman or whatever was here, she would probably be like, "You should make decisions like that about money." You
But
know what
I
I mean?
most certainly do not. I mean, being in the
Yeah.
entertainment industry, what?
No. Oh, we already fucked up. We already fucked up the financial planning. That's our bad. All right, let us move on. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll continue talking. And we are back and we're ready for topic number 2, the Epstein files. Now,
Yeah.
yeah, woo!
What
Like, I didn't really
files?
want to talk about this. Originally, we weren't going to talk about this, but then it's just like, oh my God, everybody's talking about this. And then he wrote a tweet about it, and it's just like, okay. So basically, you guys remember the whole Epstein thing. And then you remember Elon a few weeks ago, I don't even remember when that was, said something like Trump is in the Epstein files or whatever. Um, during their little huge like breakup feud. And then in the intervening weeks, like there's still been calls from the intense core of MAGA to release the Epstein files. People like Pam Bondi have been like, there's nothing to see. He committed suicide. There's no client list, whatever. Um, and I don't know. Basically, now Trump has had to go on the record and just say, "Hey guys, stop thinking about Epstein." He said something really weird in his tweet. It was something like, or his truth or whatever. He said something like, "Hey, what's going on, my guys?" And in some cases, gals, and it was just the weirdest way to start a sentence. But he was basically like, "Why are we talking about this guy that can seemingly never die?" And in some senses, I totally get his point. But the MAGA right is just really intent on talking about Epstein and getting this list. And they had a Turning Point summit over the weekend, and everybody was talking about it. Epstein, 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 because for the first time, they might think that Donald Trump is lying to them for the first time. So I don't know. Fabrizio, what do you think about all of this?
Oh, I thought for a second, Fabrizio, are you in the Epstein list? I am not. That's not like the ultimate VIP list ever. Like that's like I don't know. Like people who are there really rule the world. But I don't know. I feel that I mean, I'm a little bit excited about this moment because it's like, yes, finally, it's happening. No, it's like all the conspiracy theories, I mean, are back to haunt you. So yeah, it's like why these people keep talking about the Epstein leaks because you guys been talking about it forever. And yeah, of course, people like who are obsessed with this kind of things are they want to find the truth, and I hope they find it. I don't know. I'm rooting for the MAGA people in this case. I just want them to go all angry, and now it's time to storm the Congress and storm the White House to get that list, guys. If you're listening to this,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
the time to get really
Yeah.
angry.
Go
And
from J6 to July 16 or whatever and turn it and like get what you need.
I mean, just call that guy dressed like Chewbacca and just, go into the White House right now. Get me that list. I don't know. I feel it was about, I mean, I think in a weird way, it was about time at some point. If you create so many conspiracy theories, they will come back to haunt you. I don't know.
Leah, what do you think?
I 100% agree with that. I mean, it's like he's been riled them up since 2019 about this, and they're riled. You know what I mean? He's been talking about it. He's been doing it, and now he's like, there isn't one. And I am also enjoying watching this unfold. You're like, bring it out. I want to see it. Let's read it out loud.
I mean, now we
You
need
know,
all Democrats to join this. I mean, everyone should be joining this
Yes.
fight.
yeah, where's the list? Yeah. Well, one thing that I should point out is that Trump and Epstein were like bros. I mean, they knew each
Yes.
other for years. There's video and pictures of them. There's that one famous quote where Donald said, "Oh, I know Jeff. He's been a friend for years. He likes beautiful women as much as I do, and he likes them young." He said that. He said that very grossly and specifically. I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like that. And so they went back, and he actually also considered pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, who is serving time for her role and all of that. Do you think that Trump is just on the list and that's why he's not complying?
I think
Well, sorry, Leah.
I was going to say I think he's more than on the list. I think he is like he is the list. You know what I mean? It is just like also I love that they didn't fall out over anything. They fell out over like a land buy in Florida. You know what I mean? That just seems like two things that men that go date 13-year-olds would fall out about. But I allegedly
I know. I was like, wait, you were okay with the time that he spent in prison over relations with minors or whatever? Like that was not the thing that broke your friendship. What broke your friendship was a fucking real estate deal. You monster. Okay, but go ahead.
I also think, there's all this on the internet where they're like, Democrats, well, what would you say if Bill Clinton was on it? You wouldn't want him. We were like, we want we want
I mean, yeah,
to
just take him.
take
I don't
him.
care.
I don't
You know?
care.
Yeah,
Let's
just
see him
like
on
Yeah.
take.
the list.
I think this is a problem with like Democrats. They should be. I mean, now this is the momentum to I don't go to impeach Trump for the list. Whatever, just push it. Like jump the wagon of the MAGA people in an extreme way and be like outside the White House with signs saying like release the list. We should all be pushing in that direction. Maybe this is like the way to destroy his base. So I don't know what we're doing in this podcast. We should be now taking a bus to DC and joining the movement.
What are we doing on this podcast? Yeah, and well, the other weird thing is that like, so he was related to so many wealthy people, right? There's like Bill Gates and obviously Bill Clinton and all those. I mean, there's like wealthy people were just connected to him in very many ways. Also because he gave a lot of money away to political organizations and all that stuff. So he wanted to curry favor and have power, and so he kept all these people around him. So the fact, like, apparently, like Sergey Brin was on that island with his wife or something. Like, it's not like the list is a list of people who certainly committed horrible sexual assault. The list is also just like people who were there, and then there, I don't know, and it requires a lot of other
I mean,
investigations or
if you're in that
something.
list, if you're in the list just because you went to cleaning that place, you're fucked anyways. I don't
Right,
think.
right, right.
If you're, I was just there to check the internet. No,
Right,
you're.
I was there. I was janitorial staff. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. Well, folks, let me know. What do you think about this list? Do you care? Should we care? Is this the way out of the Trump nightmare? Is this fucking list? All right. Next up, Andrew Cuomo is going to be running as an independent in the New York City race. Now, he lost the Democratic primary by 12 points, which is a real shellacking to Zohran Mamdani. Do you think Andrew Cuomo should? I mean, so me and Fabrizio are both in New York. Leah, you're a former New Yorker. What do you think?
Um, should I start? I'm sorry, I don't want to
Yeah.
interrupt Leah again. I feel like I'm doing it all the time.
No,
No, no, no,
yeah,
go.
go for it.
I, I think it's funny that he's trying again. In a weird way, it feels like a Bugs Bunny Daffy Duck situation because he just lost, a second ago, and he's trying again. And I don't think the demographic of voters going to change that much. I know that, of course, that was the primary, but still, it's like, I mean, also like the people who are not Mandami are like five. They're just going to split the option anyway. So what's the plan here, Andrew Cuomo? I don't get it. Just do a
Yeah.
podcast and create, I don't know, like a TED talk or something. Like, just don't try this again.
Right. I mean, he pointed out that only 13% of New Yorkers voted in the June primary, which is true. Primaries have like less turnout. I should also note that this was one of the highest turnouts because Mamdani turned out so many people. But yeah, I don't know. Leah, do you feel like he has a chance knowing that only 13% of the eligible voters came out for a primary?
Well, I feel like he's trying to pull the Republicans to vote independent.
Yeah, that sounds
I
right.
think he's not going for Democrats.
Um, so if it's Mamdani, Eric Adams, and Andrew Cuomo, do you feel like people are just going to be split?
You're not mentioning what's the name of this guy? Silwa,
Oh,
Silwa,
Curtis Lewa. That's right.
Colonel
Sorry.
Sliwa. Yeah, you're not mentioning the red hat guy.
How could I forget? He runs in every election. Curtis Lewa, a non-serious candidate, is also running on the Republican platform. But between those three, do you think they just cancel out each other's votes? I mean,
I think that's part of the problem. It's like this two split. Like, you have one side with one guy, and then you have the other side with 20. I don't think the math. I don't know. Maybe they know something that I don't know. Like they have resources for all this polls and stuff. But I mean, it didn't work last time. They already have a lot of numbers. They had a lot of money. They raise an insane amount of money. They run crazy ads every single day, over and over again, and it didn't work. So I feel like the zeitgeist is not with them this time.
well, yeah, according to the reporting on this, Cuomo was backed by a record setting political action committee that raised $25 million. And that was not enough. Even though it was a record number, it just wasn't enough to make it work. He was backed by Bloomberg, by Bill Ackman. He had a lot of powerful people behind him, and it still didn't work. So there's a point at which I think is like an interesting thing that we've seen about elections in general, where money doesn't work. Like Elon's money in that Wisconsin Supreme Court race, that didn't work, right? Elon's money in Germany didn't work. So it's sort of like at a certain point, which I kind of thought we would never see this day, but there does appear to be a point, and this is maybe a silver lining to everything, where money doesn't actually work in buying every vote. Leah, are you at all heartened by that?
It does feel really good.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court vote really, I really felt great when that happened.
Yeah. So maybe
On the
there's
on the
some.
other side, if someone want to
Yeah.
buy my boat, I'm here. Just I mean, I have my info in the like in my post, so please write me.
So wait, so Fabrizio, if Elon Musk was, you remember how he was writing those checks for $1 million or whatever?
Yeah,
If you, what was it? If you registered as a something, I can't remember how he did it, but would you have registered as a Republican
of
to get that
course.
$1 million check from
I
Elon?
mean, in a minute. I mean, of course, I will
No
register.
question.
I will register, and next week I will like just unregister. That's
Right. No, that's yeah,
that,
yeah.
you can. Can you
You
do
do
that?
you do have an untold number of children. So I can see.
That's why I'm doing it for my kids.
Right. I'm registering Republican for my children. I know. Leah, I don't know. I would have a hard time like turning down $1 million. Leah, would you have a hard time with that? Or are you a better person than the rest of
I
us?
hate to be like, I think I'm a better person.
You might be a better person for $1 million. That could solve so many of like $1 million could solve all three of us could solve problems like
Ten,
divided in $333,000 chunks.
$10,000 would solve a lot of my problems. You know what? $5,000 would solve a lot of my problems right now. I would just go back to the other people and be like, can anybody give me five? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Leah's
stick to
vote
my
is
morals.
fucking really cheap. Fabrizio's vote, are you as cheap as 5 Gs or do you need more?
8.
Oh,
Woo!
I
you're like
think.
a minimum 8 guy.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's yeah. I mean, I have my standards, man. I'm a man of my word.
That's exciting. I also have to say about Mom Donnie really quick, which is that I've been, like doing stand up in New York City as I'm known to do, and I've just like randomly, I mean, I'm Muslim, there's like a lot of like places that I could just throw in a Mom Donnie reference in my set even though I'm like not even specifically talking about New York politics. And I'll just say something about like blah blah blah. I'm Muslim. Shout out Mom Donnie, and the audience goes wild. Like for whatever we're looking at here, the comedy club audiences of New York City appear to be voting for Mom Donnie. So if Andrew Cuomo is worried about comedy connoisseur, that particular vote, I don't know if he's got that because they get very excited when at just the mere mention of Mom Donnie. So I think that's interesting, and he is just like he's just like more exciting than a guy we've seen do the job and do it with some measure of corruption. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I feel once again, I think it's really like a long shot from Cuomo because it's the energy is not there. Like, what are you gonna?
Yeah.
I mean, the only way he can win is like if Soren run a horrible campaign. I
Right.
mean, a horrible like he do everything. He's in the Epstein list or something like that.
Right.
That's the
Right.
only way
He was
because
he was invited as like a 10-year-old to the island.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, in that way, he will be a victim. So people will be
That's
like,
true.
"Yeah, we're
That's
supporting
true.
you more."
That's true.
Uh, so I don't know. I feel like there's just not energy to
There's
Cuomo
not.
right now.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like there is on the streets here of New York. I'm looking out my window. I'm not seeing it.
I think everybody else is just going to cancel each other out.
Yeah. All right. You know what? We're gonna see what happens, and we'll talk about it right here on this very show. And now, let us move on to topic number 3. Okay, so basically, we read this piece in the New York Times about the decline of the straight white male novelist, and just the title alone caught my eye. But I mean, apparently, the numbers are there to suggest that there is a decline in the share of straight white male novelists. Leah, are you saddened by the what does appear to be like a legitimate decline in
You
that
know,
particular demographic of novelist?
I was started this to take my own bias out of it because at first I was like, come on. That was my gut
Yeah.
response. Come on.
Yeah.
But then I
Yeah.
was like, how many white male novelists do I read? Was I
Yeah.
even reading white male novelists? And then I was like, what are we considering to be a novel? Because are we counting Jack Reacher?
Right. And are we counting, I think in your world, are we counting fantasy?
Well, I only read fantasy books by women, so that was
Oh,
already
okay.
off the
So
table. So
already
my
off the
male
table. And I think
novelists
they're only
are
right. And besides like George R. R. Martin, I think they're mostly written by women, right?
all the ones I like,
Fantasy books.
women. So the only
Yeah.
category I'm looking at is like my airport thrillers, my Pattersons, my Sanfords, my
Yeah.
Reachers, and they're not going anywhere. So who am I worried about?
So I guess in this piece we're worried about like literary fiction, the kind that wins awards. And it's interesting because, yes, have I read my share of Philip Roth? Sure. Have I read my share of Franzen? Yes. Have I enjoyed those things? Totally. So I have dabbled in the white male novelist world. I don't know, Fabrizio, what's your position on this?
Me as a male straight novelist, I feel very impacted by the news. I don't know what to do with all the novels that I wrote that I have in my desk ready to publish. I don't know where to go with them. I don't know. I feel, yeah, of course. I mean, of course, white men will be fine, novelist or not. So don't worry, guys. It's okay. Just open a Substack and post it there.
Right.
I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. And once again, it's like, yeah, I feel like I mean I'm reading more nonfiction lately, so I don't see gender. I just grab a book. I don't even see if it's a book or not. I just grab a lot of paper and
sometimes
read it.
sometimes you're just reading like a lamp
Bills.
or a dresser.
Yeah, I don't care. I just read, and
Yeah.
I think those guys, if you're listening, you will be fine. Don't worry.
Okay, so there was a guy who wrote like an essay, and he like basically he was the shit stirrer of this idea. And this is what he wrote about the decline of the white male novelist. He wrote, unwilling to portray themselves as victims, cringe, politically wrong, or as aggressors, toxic masculinity, unable to assume the authentic voices of others, appropriation, younger white men are no longer capable of describing the world around them. Now, like, unfortunately, neither of the three of us are like white male, straight males. You come the closest, Fabrizio. Do
Thank you.
you feel, do you feel like you could approach these subjects without being caught up in these traps, or do you feel like you quote are no longer capable of describing the world around you?
Well, first of all, I have a theory that the whole thing about like fear of any kind of cancellation because of touching all these topics in the wrong way are not real. Nothing happened, and it's just not true. So, or if it happens during a period of time and it's not happening anymore. So, I don't think anyone should be scared of that. I feel on the other side is like, of course, you can describe your world, and if it's interesting enough, you can do it from any point of view. And it's not about like, oh, I don't have enough tools to talk about someone else. It's like, oh, if you do it in the right way, it will work. It's about like your skill set more than if the judgment of the others. So I feel, yeah, it's all whining for no reason. Just write better novels, and you will be fine.
Um, Yeah, I it's funny because it's just like not something that was on my radar until I saw a think piece about it. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't worried. I do think in general, like I mean, what worries me more is like people probably just don't read as much. People also don't have the attention span of reading. So I feel like that's the dragon that needs to be slayed more than worrying about like the particular demographics. The one thing I will say, whenever white men leave a profession, let's say teaching or nursing, which used to be dominated by white men, whenever they leave a profession, uh, the wages for that profession decline. So it used to be that teaching wasn't as low paid. It used to be that nursing wasn't as low paid. But once men left, and they became primarily female areas of interest, that's when the wages started to decline. So I think one thing that we might be seeing, which would be of concern, is if because white men are no longer as dominant in the field, the value of the literary book and the upfront advances that authors are given are maybe also going to decline. I don't know. That's just and this is not something I looked into, or that I don't know. I don't even know if they've compiled evidence on that, but it's like just something. Leah, does that concern you as someone who's also written a book?
I want to say that my eyes started twitching when I said out loud $10,000 would change my whole life, and it has not stopped. So, when I first read that article, that was also my first thought. I was like, I think there's also a huge decline in reading across the board. And then also, I feel like sometimes when it's just like, when it's just sort of changing, like the demographics are starting to match like the world around us, that maybe there's more women writing, you know what I mean? You're like, well, there was actually more women reading originally and we weren't being represented fairly. So
Right.
that's also not in there. I do get I didn't realize that about when men left a job, the wages went down. That is very depressing. But I feel like that's already happened in general in the literary world, like with so much self-publishing and people wanting you
Right.
to have a gazillion followers before you get a book deal. I mean,
Yeah, I know. Oh my God, you probably had this conversation with authors, but I've written a book, and people, be like, "Oh, how'd you get that deal?" and blah blah blah. And I was like, I mean, I had, an internet presence of some kind. I don't even know if I could, if I didn't have, if this wasn't today, like I don't even know with my current internet presence they would give me a book. I mean, I don't know, like maybe, but like you can't get a book deal unless you have some kind of internet presence. If you don't have some kind of following, like, so it's become this. It's far more gamified in that way than it was before. Even like when I sold my book, I don't feel like my internet presence was as important as it would be now, and it's so depressing because it shouldn't be like about that. It should be really about the quality of the work. No duh. All right.
So that's the thing. White male novelists just get more followers. Just
There
m-
it is.
more shirtless pictures. More content, talking straight to camera. So yeah, just that's the way to fix this problem.
Guys, yeah, grab a selfie stick and make it happen. All
done.
right. My friends, that is the end of the show. I would love for the people of Fake the Nation to be able to follow you and all the wonderful things that you do. Leah Bonnema, where do they do that?
Everything is at Leah Bonnema, LeahBonnema. And speaking of social media, I was late to the game on TikTok and I've not been on YouTube. So now I'm trying to change that. Absolute nightmare. Please come and join me.
And by the way, guys, remember she's headlining on August 9th at the Burbank Comedy Festival. And definitely follow her on YouTube. You will see her face also on our YouTube. And yes, YouTube is a nightmare. So do us a favor and follow all three of us on YouTube. Fabrezio, where do they find you?
You can find me at Fabrezio Comedian, Fabrezio with a Z, Fabrezio Comedian, in all social media available. Also, if you speak Spanish, you can follow me in my Spanish speaker account, Fabrezio Copano. That is my last name, and I'm also in every social media with that name in Spanish. So I have to not only one social media press, I have to do for two languages, and it's double nightmare.
Oh my. That really sounds terrible, actually. Folks, you know where to find me and all the things that I do. You can email us at fakethenationpodcast@gmail.com. Send us all your thoughts and your ideas. I want to thank everyone who makes the show a possibility. That's our wonderful producer, Rob Heath. Thanks to Gaby for our theme music. And yeah, guys, we'll be back in your earballs next week.